Hey, you there? Okay, let's kick this thing off. Welcome everyone to the 2020 Virus Virtual Clinics. Just want to appreciate everyone for reaching out, registering and signing up for these sessions. It's been a tremendously overwhelming response. We've had almost 1,000 people registered so far. Many of the sessions, as you've seen, have reached capacity. We definitely appreciate everyone when signing up, suggesting topics for us to cover. We'll try to craft our future content, future session content around some of those topics. Just to introduce myself, my name is Tuta. I am a referee as of about a month ago. I'm a referee in the Mountain West Conference. The past 10 years, I was a deep official, side judge for the previous 6 years, and I guess I'm always going to be a side judge at heart. But moving on to, I don't want to say greener pastures, but moving on to work the referee position. Just from an administrative standpoint, to let everyone know, there's about a 20-second delay between my audio and video and when it gets to your screen. The chats and the polls, however, are nearly instantaneous. What that means is there's going to be some awkward delays, maybe sometimes. So I'm apologizing in advance for any of the quirkiness or odd pauses that we may have throughout the presentation. And if anyone is totally unhappy with the delivery of the session and the product that we're offering, I will put you in contact with our accounting team and we will issue you a full refund. No questions asked. Just if you look at the screen on the right-hand side, you'll see some of the menus of this software. I'm not totally sure how to work all of that, but I'm sure you all have found the chat. As I've seen the map being populated with the states of everyone here. Again, very overwhelming. We have almost every state represented. And believe it or not, we have people from England, Brazil, Germany, Denmark, and Mexico. So welcome, welcome, welcome to our international brethren. So just basically to talk about what this rule session, what my goal for this rule session is, this rule session is meant to augment our written test that we get passed around from the different conferences, the rules exchanges that we have through email. This session is not meant to be a replacement for that. In my opinion, it is extremely important for us to have sufficient command of the rule book such that when we get on the field and observe action, we are able to instantaneously apply the rules in order to effectively officiate the game. So a lot of times when we look at these tests, we don't necessarily have a good visual picture of it. So hopefully today what we'll do is be able to have a practical application of some of these rule concepts. And hopefully this approach to rule study is helpful. All right, let's get started. If I can get this off the screen. Okay, here we go. First play for us to look at is a false start, DOF play. I'm sure many of you have already looked at some of the plays online. Hopefully you have. Let's take a look at the play. Actually, let me throw up a poll about this play first. Let's throw up a poll. You'll see a poll that'll come somewhere near. It may come underneath your video. So if you don't see the poll on the screen, just scroll down a little bit. And let's play the video. We'll see this first play first. We're talking about false start versus defensive offside. So if you see the poll, what we're asking, this is what happens. So we have two movements. Pretend that the tight end did not jump because the line judge in this game had a false start on the tight end as well. Pretend it's just the umpire that had a flag. We need to know, what is this conversation going to be like when the umpire and the line of scrimmage people come in? So what exactly does the umpire need to get from the line of scrimmage official on this play? Okay, and I see the votes coming in. And I'm going to end the poll in a little bit. Give it a few more seconds. We still have some votes coming in. Look like those West Coast votes are coming in now. All right, I'm going to end the poll. And hopefully you all can see this. If not, I didn't click the right button. 30% of you said the line of scrimmage should tell the umpire if number 57 made contact with an offensive lineman. So basically, we want the umpire to know that. If there's DOF with contact, the umpire should be able to see that and make judgment on that. The next option was the line of scrimmage should tell umpire 57 was in a neutral zone. 59% of you said that. And then 10% said the line of scrimmage should tell the umpire what gap number 57 was in. Well, the line of scrimmage wouldn't necessarily have a good perspective on the gap. The umpire would have a better perspective, and maybe the center judge would as well. So the answer that we were looking for is the line of scrimmage needs to tell the umpire if number 57 was in the neutral zone. So umpires, as you're out there, and line of scrimmage officials, when you get with your crews, make sure we understand what kind of conversation we need to have if we have a situation like this where we have a defender moving and then an offensive player moving. The reason is, and we'll go to the slide to look at the actual rule reference. Here's the rule, Rule 715A2. It talks about defense offside. No player may enter the neutral zone, causing an offensive lineman to react immediately. So what that means is if the player is not in the neutral zone, then we do not have a foul for defensive offside. So we could have a foul for a delay of game on the defense if there's some unnatural football movement, but that's not what we're discussing here. We're just talking about natural football movement. So if the defender does not get into the neutral zone, there is no foul for defense offside. So the first thing the umpire needs to know is, did this lineman get into the neutral zone? If there was no contact as well. If there was contact, obviously that's immediately, we're going to shut it down. That's going to be defense offside. So the next thing we need to know is who's protected. You know, we have this situation where we talk about players being protected and who's threatened. Well, let's look at this chart here, and hopefully we can see. Let's make sure we can get this thing working right. Give me some red, give me some red. So number 57 is right here, 57 on defense. He's right there. So let's clear this off. You know, what we talk about is alignment. This is what traditionally, what I've always thought, alignment. 57 is hit up with the left guard, right? Here's the left guard right here. 57 is hit up with the left guard, which means that the center is protected. The left guard is protected. That's an ugly P. Let me clear that off. Let's not try to draw a P. Let's just do a circle. These are three players that we think are protected. Let's throw another poll up. I love polls. Okay, next poll. Let's see what we got. If I can get this poll up. Here we go. This is the poll I want to do. I'm going to publish the poll. All right, you're going to see a poll coming up. So, and I'm going to keep talking while the poll makes its way through the World Wide Web to your computer. So 57, if he enters the neutral zone, then the protection would be here on the left guard, here on the left tackle, and also here on the center, based on the way I've always understood it to be. So the question I'm asking is, did number 57 enter the neutral zone directly toward the center? And that's important why I'm asking that question. And the poll results are coming in. And although everyone's still voting, the numbers are pretty much staying the same. We'll end the poll, and hopefully that poll showed up. I don't think the first one did show up on your screen. Maybe, hopefully this one did. 71% of us said, yes, the number 57 entered the neutral zone directly toward the center. Why am I asking that question? Well, let's go back to our rule. Clear that garbage off the screen. Who is threatened? This comes from the case book. This is case book play 7-1-3-5. And we look in this note. What the note says is, I'll go here. If the team B player enters the neutral zone directly toward a team A lineman, then that team A player and the two adjacent linemen are considered to be threatened. So traditionally, what I always considered is the alignment. But when we actually look at the rule and read the rule, it doesn't say anything about alignment. It talks about entering the neutral zone and threatening a particular player. So if in our estimation, and when I say our, I mean the umpire, because the umpire is the one who's going to make this determination. If number 57 enters the neutral zone directly toward the center, then the people who actually are threatened are the center, the left guard, and the right guard. That comes directly from the rule book. So let's go back to our slideshow. Let's go to the next slide. Clear this garbage off the screen. We talked about this, and then we'll also go, we talk about, this comes from the mechanics manual, and this is from the philosophies page. When in question regarding the player position or movement by the defense into the neutral zone. Remember, we always got to have that player in the neutral zone, which causes the offense to move. A player is moving toward the offensive player. So when in doubt, he's moving toward the offensive player. So let's summarize. 57 jumps into the neutral zone. We need to know, did he actually get into the neutral zone or not? That conversation is going to be held by the umpire and the line of scrimmage official. Next, the umpire needs to determine, did he jump directly towards a player? If he jumped directly towards this player, which is the left guard in the neutral zone, then of course we're going to have protection here. If he jumps directly toward the left tackle, then we're going to have protection here. If he jumps directly toward, oh, this is ugly. If he jumps directly toward the center, then we have protection here. That's a judgment that I'm not telling anyone how to make a judgment. We're just reading the rule book. This is a rule session, so we're just going to talk about the actual rules. I think that's it on this play. Unfortunately, with this chat, and as I mentioned at the beginning, with the delay a little bit, it's going to be very difficult to take questions, and it's very easy, I guess, for me to make an argument if there's nobody opposing me. I think what I'm going to propose next time my wife and I have an argument is to log into this webinar jam, and then I'll run it, and then I'll just tell her everything, and then she won't get to tell me anything back. All right, let's look at play number 2. Play number 2 is a little bit more straightforward, but we're talking about penalty enforcement on play number 2. So here we go. We have a defensive holding. Let me try to run it back so I can circle the defensive holding. I don't know if everybody saw what the defensive holding was. All right, come on, video, act right. Play video. Okay, let me circle it really quickly because this thing acts funny. All right, it went away. Whatever. The defensive holding was in the middle of the field. Umpire had a flag for defensive holding. Good job. The foul, where did the foul occur? Oh, let me throw a poll up. I'm sorry. Let me throw a poll up. So let me start the poll. The question here is, where is the defensive holding penalty going to be enforced from? You know, we got defensive fouls downfield. We got special rules for pass plays. We have special rules for other plays. So in this instance, we want to know, where is this going to be enforced from? Okay, here come the votes. Where's our Denmark vote? All right, where's our Germany vote? Where's our Mexican vote? Where's our Brazilian vote? Come on, Brazil. All right, I'm getting ready to end the poll. Any other votes? Any other votes? Any other votes? All right, good. So 78%, and hopefully you all can see this poll because I figured out how to put it, make it actually show up on the screen. All right, 78% of us said it's enforced from the end of the run. Good job. 11% had it from the spot of the foul. 8% had from the previous spot. And 1% of us said it's an automatic first down since it occurred beyond the line of scrimmage. Well, I threw that one in there just to trick people, because we know defensive holding on forward pass plays that go beyond the line of scrimmage come with an automatic first down. But this is a defensive holding foul on a running play. So let's go to the slides. And we're going to pull up the rule on the basic spot in the 3-and-1 principle. This is rule 10. So anytime we have a question on how to penalize something and where are we going to penalize it from, if it's not listed in the actual rule, we can go to rule 10, and rule 10 will help us out. So the first thing we need to determine is the basic spot. That's always the first thing we need to know. And what type of play was this? This was a running play. So the basic spot on a running play is the end of the related run when the related run ends beyond the neutral zone. What that means, that's all kind of complicated words, but we don't have to make it complicated. When did the hold occur? It occurred while this dude was running the ball. Okay, so that's the related run. The related run ended beyond the neutral zone. Yes, it did, because he gained yards on the play. So that means the basic spot for this foul is the end of the run. However, next thing we need to evaluate and think about is the 3-and-1 principle. Anytime we have a foul at one spot, the basic spot at another spot, we need to start thinking potentially about 3-and-1 principle. So here, look at number 3 here under 10.2.2c. It says when the team not in possession commits a foul, either behind or beyond the basic spot, the penalty is enforced at the basic spot. I'm stuck here. Something ain't right. Okay, yeah. There we go. Okay. The team in possession commits a foul, okay. So it's either behind or beyond. The penalty is enforced at the basic spot. And the basic spot on this play was the end of the related run. Ooh, I scared myself there a little bit. I got a little confused. Okay, so basically this foul, as 79% of us had it, is going to be enforced from the end of the run. All right, moving on. Third play. This play is, we have an illegal blindside block, and it's during a pass play. And that's always kind of weird to think about. So here's the play. At the far hash at about the 15-yard line, there's a blindside block, and then it happened during the pass play. Oh, I forgot to throw my poll up. Sorry. All right, reset poll. Let me find my poll so I can see where we at. Start the poll, publish the poll. All right, here we go. Here's our question. The blindside block foul happened during a pass play. Yikes. So where are we supposed to enforce this from? And remember, we talked about if the foul does not include an actual enforcement, if it only has a distance but doesn't say where we need to enforce it from, then we need to go back to Rule 10. So, if we're not familiar with enforcement spots, get familiar with Rule 10. All right, the numbers are pretty leveled off. I'll end the poll. There we go. 75% of us, wait, look at that. That don't even add up to 100. You got to love math. 75% of us have the penalty being tacked on to the end of the play, and then 24% of us have the enforcement being from the previous spot. And 1% of the votes were lost somewhere, maybe in Florida with the hanging chads or whatever. Okay, let's go to the slides. Back to the slides, and we will look at what the rule says. Rule 10.22E1, Team B fouls during pass plays. So remember, that foul was during a pass play, right? For Team B fouls during a legal forward pass play, penalty enforcement for Team B personal fouls, which that was a personal foul, and illegal blindside block is a personal foul. That's in Rule 9. If you need to have it, I think I put it on that reference sheet that we sent out. Hopefully everyone has that reference sheet as well. Illegal blindside block foul is in Rule 9, so it is a personal foul. So penalty enforcement for Team B personal fouls is at the end of the last run when it ends beyond the neutral zone and there is no change of team possession during the down. All right, well, we know there was no change of possession during the down, and we know there was only one run, quote unquote, even though it wasn't really a run. To get technical, once the process of the catch is over, it is a run. But so this play, we had a Team B personal foul. We're going to enforce it at the end of the last run, which in this play, there was only one run. So we're going from the end of the play. All right, moving on. Fourth play. And I know I'm going kind of fast. We have time. And I think after I finish with these videos, and it may be a little weird to go back and take questions, but I'm going to go back and take and read through and maybe answer some of these questions after we get through all of the rest of the plays. And I know that's a little weird to do it that way, but it is what it is. And again, if you don't like it, we'll give you your money back. The fourth play. Let's take a look here. Let me throw the poll up. All right, I'm learning. Got to throw the poll up before we throw the play up. The fourth play, we have a holding penalty and we have a targeting foul. So I'm going to start the poll, publish the poll, and hit the video. Let's go, video. So this is what we have. We have a holding on the right tackle right there. And then we have a targeting foul. So the question we want to ask, and we ask the question, the targeting foul, is it a dead ball foul or is it a live ball foul? Here come our votes. Here come our votes. Look at the votes. Look at the votes. I don't know if y'all can see the votes live. I know I can. All right, getting ready to pull the plug and end the poll. All right, I ended the poll. 67% of us said this is a dead ball foul. 32% of us said this is a live ball foul. So this play is really, really, really easy to get that wrong. I was in the game where we did get it wrong, where we said this is a live ball foul. And why is that even important? Well, first of all, let's go to the slides and let's find out what a dead ball foul is and find out what a live ball foul is. Start the slides. Next, here we go. Ball declared dead when a ball carrier obviously begins a feet first slide. That means the ball is dead. That's rule 413R. So as soon as the quarterback, and let's see if I want to try to play this video again. As soon as the quarterback begins his slide, the play is over. And I'm going to pause it at that point. And for you line of scrimmage officials, this is the hardest thing for you all because you all have to make this spot. And look at the line of gain is really close to where he started his slide too as well. I don't know if you noticed that. So why is this important? It's important because let's say this was a 4th down play. As you see on the screen, this was actually 3rd and 9. But let's say this was 4th and 9. And then the quarterback got right to the line to gain. And right before the line to gain, he started his slide. Well, guess what? The play is over. And even if he gets targeted, what we're going to do is change the possession. Downs, the team A did not reach the line to gain. So it's going to be team B's ball. We're still going to enforce the targeting penalty. But team A's series of downs is over. So that's why it's really important to understand if this action by the quarterback was a dead ball action or a live ball action. Okay, so now that we established that, let's go. I got another poll. Reset the poll. This one, based on that, I think we're going to be able to figure this out pretty good. Let's start the poll, publish the poll, and I'll just let you have the video playing just for fun, since I don't have nothing to do while I wait for the numbers to come in. So here's the question that we're asking. Since we have 2 fouls, remember we have a foul by the offense, we have the holding by the offense, and then we have a targeting by the defense. And what we just learned is the targeting foul by the defense is a dead ball foul. And I'm going to end the poll. 98% of us said we're going to enforce the holding, and then we're going to enforce the targeting and award a first down. And that is exactly what we're going to do. The reason the fouls don't offset, and this is why we always need to know our rules. Back to the slides. This is why the fouls don't offset. Because the rule book says they don't offset. That's why. Rule 10.1.6. Live ball, dead ball fouls. Live ball fouls do not offset dead ball fouls. That's pretty clear right there. So if you have a live ball foul with a dead ball foul, we're never going to offset it. So when a live ball foul by one team is followed by one or more dead ball fouls, the penalties are administered separately and in the order of occurrence. So what happened first? The live ball foul. So what we're going to do is we're going to take team A and we're going to back them up 10 yards from where? The previous spot, right? So we're snapping from the 22-yard line. So we're going to back them up to the 32, and then we're going to go forward 15 yards to the 17, and we're going to award team A a first down. And of course, the defensive player who targeted, I don't remember his number, he will be disqualified. I think it's number 46. Was that 46? No, I'm way off, 30 something. Okay, whatever. So hopefully we understand live ball versus dead ball fouls. And hopefully we also understand now that when the quarterback begins his slide, anything that happens beyond that is during dead ball play. And this is really, really, really easy to get screwed up when you're on the field. So let's take a deep breath when we all out there on the field. And maybe you can be someone to help your crew out. Well, when we start maybe enforcing this wrong, we can come in and say, oh, wait a minute. That should be a dead ball foul. And then you can save the crew. All right, last play. We only got 5 plays. Wow. It's 12:30. I guess I'm going kind of fast. Might have to give people a refund. Start video. Oh, this is a very interesting play, and this really illustrates how difficult it is for us to do our job sometimes out there on the field. We have to know all of these. There's probably 3 or 4 rules that are in play on this simple play right here. Oh, let me do my poll. Poll. Reset the poll. And we're going to go in and we're going to ask everyone. This one is a simple poll. Publish the poll. All I want to know is what's the result of the play? What you got? Basically, that's what we're saying. What you got, ref? Ref, what you got? Here come the numbers. Here come the numbers. Ooh, this one is interesting. Ooh, this one is interesting. Okay. Votes still coming in. Votes still coming in. Ooh. I don't have shit. I wanted to write down the results of this poll so I can remember them. All right, I'm gonna end the poll now. We have 51% say it's a touchdown. 24% say incomplete pass. 23% say complete pass, but spot the ball at the B1. All right. So what rules do we have to use here? First thing we got to know is, what is a catch? If we don't know what a catch is, then we can't do anything else beyond that. Then we kind of stuck. So I would encourage, especially if you're a deep official, I would encourage you to know exactly what a catch is. And that sounds like a stupid statement to make, but it's really not. And a catch is not something that's just something that everybody understands all the time. So rule 2-4-3. So anybody who's not totally familiar with the rule book, rule 2 has all of our definitions in it. So if you ever want to know what a pylon is, go to rule 2. They'll tell you exactly what a pylon is. If you want to know what a goal line is, go to rule 2. They'll tell you what that is. So anytime we use a term or something in football, go to rule 2. They'll tell you, the rule book will tell you exactly what it is. So what is a catch? A catch means that a player secures firm control with the hands or arms before the ball touches the ground. And you can't just stop at number 1. These is ands. These are not R's. These are ands. And touches the ground inbounds with any part of his body. And then maintains control of the ball long enough. Oh, while I'm yip yapping, let me throw up a poll. While I'm yip yapping. I'm sure people tired of hearing me talk anyway. There's a poll. While I talk, y'all vote on that. So he needs to secure firm control of the ball with his hands or arms. He needs to touch the ground inbounds with any part of his body. And then he needs to maintain control of the ball long enough for him to perform an act common to the game. So the reason I'm asking that question is because now we're going into the poll question. That's the reason why I'm asking this poll question. If you look at the first TV ISO shot, what is your opinion? What is your judgment? I don't want to say opinion because what we do is we have judgments on the field. Did the wide receiver stretch the ball out towards the end zone? The reason I'm asking that question is that is an act common to the game. So we need to know if in our judgment that receiver performed an act common to the game. And this actually is a really good play. I'm assuming we have some replay people on the call. This is a really good play for replay people to discuss as well, because there's a lot of elements that we need to think about. All right, let me end the poll. 69% of us said yes, the wide receiver stretched the ball out toward the end zone. 30% of us said no, he did not stretch the ball out toward the end zone. So that's important because that also helps us understand from the judgment standpoint, do we think this is a catch or not? Wait, do I have another poll? Because we need to talk about going to the ground in the act of catching a pass. I don't know if I put a poll up on that. Let me see. Yep, I do. What do you know? I got a poll on that. Here we go. I feel like Dan, I don't know if any of y'all listen to Dan Le Batard. I feel like Dan Le Batard, we always say, put it on the poll, Guillermo. Was the receiver going to the ground during the process of the catch? And again, we got to make all of these judgments immediately within 2 seconds, because we can't just stand there and not do anything. We got to do something. All right. Ooh, this one is close. We might have a runoff on this one. All right. We're gonna end the poll. 55% of us said no, the receiver was not going to the ground during the process of the catch. 44% of us said yes. So if he is going to the ground during the process of the catch, if that's what we judge, then we don't even have to think about nothing else because the ball popped out. So now it is automatically an incomplete pass. Okay? That is based on Rule 243A, number 4. You got to satisfy paragraphs B, C, and D below. Paragraph B says if he's going to the ground in the act of catching a pass, he must maintain complete and continuous control of the ball throughout the process. So if in your judgment, the receiver was going to the ground during the process of the catch, then it is an incomplete pass, and we don't even have to talk anymore. If in your judgment, he was not going to the ground during the process of the catch, then we can go back to what we already previously thought about. Did he perform an act common to the game? So now what we're saying is he completed the catch, he performed an act common to the game. So even if he falls on the ground, I don't care what happens with the ball, he already caught the ball. All right. So if you are on team catch right now, because remember, there's 2 things that we already evaluated: the actual process of the catch and was the receiver going to the ground, meaning basically we like to say upright versus going to the ground. Was he an upright receiver or was he going to the ground? So if you are on team catch, stay with me. We're going to look at something else to think about. If you're on team incomplete, I guess you can go cut the grass or something because we're done here. This incomplete pass, you don't need to listen to nothing else. All right. Do I have another poll? No, I don't have another poll. But I do have another slide. So let's go back to the video, though. Let's look at the video again. So team catch, this is for team catch. All the team incomplete people are already outside practicing social distancing as they cut the grass. Because I know their wife is driving them crazy, telling them go fix the gutters, paint the house, cut the grass. All right, here we go. We got a catch. If we have a catch, I don't know, whatever we're saying. And the receiver falls down, balls popping out. We got a pylon getting hit. Oh, Lord. We got all kind of stuff to think about. This is really, really, really a difficult play. So if our first 2 evaluations come back positive, yes, he caught the ball. Yes, he completed the catch, the process of the catch. Yes, he performed an act common to the game. Next, we need to determine where the hell are we going to spot this ball? So, oh, I do have another poll. Oh, I'm lying. I do have another poll. Hold on. Where's my other poll? I know I have it. Oh, there we go. Start the poll, publish the poll. So this is for my team catch people. The ball clearly did not pass inside the pylon. Does the wide receiver get goal line extended? Nah. All right. Here we go. Looks like the numbers are leveling off. Any more votes? Any more last minute votes before we call this thing? All right. Here we go. I'm in the poll now. 69% of us said yes, the wide receiver does get goal line extended. 30% of us said no, the wide receiver does not get goal line extended. All right. How do we know if he gets goal line extended? Funny you should ask that, because the rule book tells us. Funny you should ask that. Let's ask the old rule book. Okay. Rule 8 is scoring. All the scoring plays are in Rule 8. 821A. This is what a touchdown is. A touchdown shall be scored when a ball carrier advancing from the field of play has possession of a live ball when it penetrates the plane of the opponent's goal line. This plane extends beyond the pylons only for a player who touches the ground in the end zone or a pylon. So he gets goal line extended if he touches the ground in the end zone or if he touches the pylon. On our play here, this player did touch the pylon, right? So I guess maybe people are saying that he touched the pylon prior to the ball breaking the plane of the end zone, the goal line extended. But if you look, by the time he touched that pylon, first his body leaned backwards a little bit. And as he was turning, if you think he extended the ball out, which some of us say he did not. I'm gonna pause this video. When am I pausing? We're gonna get a little close up. I think we get a close up right here. Boom, right there. He's touching the pylon. Is the ball? And first of all, let's assume that this foot is in bounds, please. We're not talking about the feet because we don't have a good video on that to make any determination. His right foot is in bounds for all intents and purposes, okay? Good. Now, he's touching the pylon. Where's the ball? The ball is already breaking the plane of goal line extended because you can see he's leaning forward beyond the plane of the end zone. So in this instance, he does get goal line extended, which means, now let's go all the way back because we got to put all kind of rules together. If he completed the process of the catch, and if he performed an act common to the game, and if he gets goal line extended, then we can add all that up. And I'm going to throw another poll up there, reset the poll. This poll is going to look eerily familiar. Start the poll, publish the poll. Let's see what happens after we actually broke down the rule into its components and that action that we saw. And we got to make all of these decisions within 3 seconds. No, not 3. We get less than that, probably 2 seconds. And that illustrates just how hard our job is. Shameless plug, on Thursday, I'm going to do a session on end zone pass plays near boundary lines. And we're going to talk about a lot of this stuff as well. Shameless plug, Thursday, April 3rd at 7 p.m. Central Time. All right, I'm going to end the poll. Guess what? We got 29% more people now say that this is a touchdown based on our rules discussion just now. So what this does, and that's the last play. and I'm gonna go back into the chat maybe and see if I can find some questions. If people have questions, we have a good number, a little bit of time left. Obviously, nobody's holding anybody hostage. If you're ready to go, go. But I'm gonna stay on. Our session lasts another 44 minutes, and I'll try to answer some questions. But this play is one that really illustrates why it is so important for us to really understand the rules. It's hard enough for us to pass judgment based on our visual mechanics and our positioning, our physical positioning on the field. It's hard enough to do that without having to have a cloudy mind saying, oh shit, what is the catch? What if he does this? What if he does that? I don't know what happens if he gets to do this. Does that mean he get, so this is why it's so important to have a firm command of the rule book. And hopefully this session kind of illustrated that, and hopefully it gave people a way to understand a practical application of the rule book from a field sense. So 81% of the people now say it is a touchdown. Now that we understand the rules.
Hey, Tuta.
Is it a touchdown or not? Go ahead, Brandon. I'm sorry.
Let's clarify. There's a little bit of confusion, I think. Let's clarify the aspect of going to the ground versus making that clear and distinct football move.
Yeah.
Because I think we said he wasn't going to the ground, but let's pretend for a second there is no clear and distinct football move. Now what would we have?
Well, if he was going to the ground, or if he was not going to the ground.
Just look at the same play.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
He doesn't reach out.
I see what you're saying. Okay, so this is what Brandon is talking about here. If we deem that the receiver is an upright receiver and completes the process of the catch without making a football move beyond that. So that's a whole nother scenario. I didn't even consider that scenario. Thank you, Brandon. So now we have to determine whether the ball crossed the sideline, I guess, because we have a catch. We already said it's a catch. He did not perform a football move. He did not extend the ball out beyond. But once he hit the ground out of bounds, the play is over. If he did not make a football move to extend the ball beyond the goal line extended, then we can't have a touchdown, but we can still have a catch. Brandon, is that what you're getting at?
A little bit. So here's my opinion, and the chat's blowing up, and I just love this because this is what the whole vision was, is to get out and talk football. So if he doesn't reach the ball out, he's a receiver going to the ground because he never had time to establish himself as a runner.
Oh, you're going with the time aspect. Got it. Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Okay, so we know that in college, if he doesn't reach the ball out in this play, he never had time to establish as a runner. So he's going to the ground, and in this play, forget about the reach. In this play, it will be an incomplete pass because he doesn't survive the ground. However, we know that if we see a clear and distinct second act, even if you're going to the ground, that clear and distinct second act ends the process of the catch.
Right.
So that's why we're saying those of us on the side of catch. Now you already sent everybody else out to mow the lawn, so we're not going to get too much. We're not going to get too much pushback. But those of us that think this is a catch are saying, yeah, he's going to the ground, but his ability to reach the ball out clearly and distinctly and perform an at-combat game ends the process of the catch.
Absolutely.
And makes a catch. And since he gets goal line extended, this is a touchdown.
Right.
That's those of us on the side of catch. That's our argument.
Right. And you obviously explained that much better than me. Brandon is a little bit smarter than me, just in case nobody could tell.
Not a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. That was the last play. Maybe we need to tee up some questions. We have this room is going to expire in another 40 minutes. Brandon, I don't know if you've been moderating the chat at all. I know you have. I guess you have been. If you have some questions to tee up, and maybe we go back and talk about some of them. And yes, Certainly appreciate everyone's participation and thanks again. The whole intent of this virtual clinic thing is just to have us talk some football. None of us that are going to present are professing to be experts on anything. So hopefully we just given another way of looking at things. Upcoming sessions, as Brandon scrolls through and finds questions, upcoming sessions. Brandon Cruz is going to do intentional grounding crew mechanics on April 1st. I think that's Wednesday, April 1st at 10 o'clock a.m. 10 o'clock a.m. That's not an April Fool's joke, even though Brandon is an April Fool. On Thursday, April 2nd, I will be doing end zone pass plays near boundary lines. That's going to be at 7 o'clock p.m. And on Friday, Daniel Young is going to be doing officiating run plays from a deep official's perspective. That's Friday, April 3rd at 7 o'clock p.m. So that's our upcoming sessions. You can always go to the website. We're adding sessions as we get content developed. And again, appreciate everyone who has submitted potential topics for us to discuss. Go ahead, Brandon.
All right. So I'll kick this over to you as I continue to find questions. Play number 1, after the U and line judge or headline judge, whoever that is, after the U and line of scrimmage official have a conversation, does it matter who reports to the R?
Okay. Yes, it does matter who reports to the R, because remember, in our play, we're pretending like only the umpire had a flag on the ground. So after that conversation exists, the umpire is the only one who really should be talking to the referee, because the umpire has a flag. The line of scrimmage official is really just bringing information. That's actually a good question. In the play that we saw on the screen, we had 2 flags on the ground. The line judge had a flag for a false start, as well as the umpire having the flag. And that's why I don't even remember who ended up talking to the referee, but that's why we maybe had the line of scrimmage official talking to the referee in that case. But if we're doing the pretend scenario where only the umpire has a flag on the ground, then the umpire is going to be the one talking to the referee to report the foul.
All right, very good. Play 3. If team A fumbled the ball and B recovered the ball on the ground, are we enforcing from the end of the last run or the previous stop?
Oh, play 3. Which one was play 3? This is the illegal blindside block play. So the question, say the question again.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe we have if A fumbled the ball and B recovered the ball on the ground. Oh, okay. Yeah, because we got to complete it.
And B recovered the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the enforcement spot? Yep.
Then enforcement spot, we have to go back to the previous spot. I don't think we would have. Let me see if my rule. I don't have my actual rule book. I actually cut these things out, and maybe we have it on the slides.
Yeah, if there's a change of possession, we can't tack it on.
Right, but the foul was against Team B. So Team B, in the questions that was asked, Team B ended up with the ball. Well, I know clean hands is like an old school type of word that we use. I don't necessarily like to use it no more, but Team B didn't get the ball with clean hands, so they're not going to end up with the ball. They fouled prior to gaining possession, so Team A is going to have the ball, and yes, we would enforce that penalty from the previous spot. I'm trying to see if we have pass plays on here somewhere, because I don't have my actual rule book loaded up in this presentation, although I could share my screen.
It's right there. Number 1, when there's no.
Yeah, but it says personal fouls at the end of the last run.
When there's no change of possession.
Yeah, so there's no change of possession. But we need to find if there is a change of possession. What do we do? I can't. Yeah, we're going from the previous spot. Whoever asked that question, you're just going to have to take my word for it, I guess. Should I look? You know what? To hell with it. Let's look for it. I'm gonna try to share my screen as I look for my rule book. Oh, I can't do that. Damn it. How do I do that?
Okay. So there's more questions.
All right, let's go to another question. But I guess the answer to that question is we're going from the previous spot in that situation.
That's right. We covered it well. Okay. What about, why don't we like you? You said we don't like using clean hands. Can you clarify that? I think.
No, not we.
Confusion.
No, that's just
okay,
me. I'm just a quirky dude. I don't know if y'all noticed that through this video. I'm a quirky dude. I got some issues that I need to probably talk to a therapist about. But yeah, I don't use clean hands.
Okay. So that was just your personal.
Yeah. That's just
all right.
Personal.
Same play. Who should see this UNR? So we're talking. So I know this is rules, but we're all here talking football.
Oh, right.
Let's talk mechanics. Who should see this UNR? Will this be?
Let me tell you. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna promise something to people, and I know I can't make promises. What we have on the schedule. This is a blindside block, and I am going to request that Mr. Corey Luxner covers this session because he has a session on
great idea.
Illegal blindside blocks coming up on Sunday, April 11th at 11 a.m. Central Time. Corey Luxner will be covering illegal blindside blocks. Maybe we can get him to tee this play up and do a discussion on visual mechanics.
I love what you did there with the teaser. Okay, let's see.
You gotta reel him in, Brandon.
That's right. Guess my question is, did Team B gain possession during the down? During the down is what's confusing me. I can talk about this because I screwed this up in a game once. So if there is, the change of possession, there has to be an actual change of possession. So for example, let's say Team B, we call Team B for hands to the face, and then the play goes and Team A ends up fumbling out of Team B's end zone for what would be a touchback. We would still tack it on from the last run because Team B didn't actually possess the ball during the down. I know we're awarding the touchback, but that was the ruling or the interpretation that came out. So if Team B actually possesses the ball during the down and they have a personal foul, that would apply to the tack on enforcement. Then we go from the previous spot. If they don't actually possess the ball, then we go from the end of A's last run. You agree?
Yes. I also agree that you did that game before, and among other things.
Okay. I think we'll just get to some more questions. These are great questions, by the way.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just excited. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I love talking football. Even if I'm wrong, shit, I love talking football. I could be corrected.
Oh, I know. Okay, questions are kind of slowing down. If I missed your question, that was not my intent.
Hey, people with questions, if you hit that circle next to your deal, it lights up red or orange next to your chat, and then it makes it actually look like a question, and it'll stand out from the rest of the normal chat.
So since the run was a fumble, we come back to that spot. Yeah, so that's a great question. Tito asked it publicly in the chat. That's why we have beanbags at the spot of fumble. Right. So in that scenario where they fumble out of the back of the end zone, we would want to have a beanbag at the spot of the fumble because that becomes an enforcement spot. So that's a good clarification for how we mechanically work the play to, execute the rules that are given to us.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing about being a football official. We have rules, we have mechanics, and then we actually have our visual limitations and our physical limitations that we have to deal with. You throw all that stuff together, you throw the crowd in there, the players chirping, and then you got the coaches yelling at you. Our job is very hard. So what I like to do is make my job as easy as possible. So just constantly gaining knowledge, constantly watching film, and I think that helps me be more prepared when I step on the field, that I don't have certain things that are already still stuck in my head, but that I have to figure out. They're almost second nature. And I think that's what's really good about talking rules and watching film.
There's a bunch of questions about what the actual result of play 5 was. And I'm just, you can go look that up, I guess, folks. We're not in here to talk about what actually happened versus that's not what this is about. So we're looking just at a play and, you could go find hundreds of mistakes. Not that play was. I'm talking about my play. You can find hundreds of mistakes. We're not here to call anybody out. We're just here to talk concepts. If you're like me, a lot of plays look the same, but in fact, every play is a little bit different. So that's what we're talking about.
Right. Hey, Brandon, Keith Bell has a really good question. He says, what knowledge could the back judge bring to the deep wing on the pylon play? Well, what the back judge can come over there doing, what I assume he came over there and did is said, hey, did you notice the ball on the ground? When he hit the ground, the ball came out. And then that's when we need to start talking about all of those other elements that contribute to a catch, upright versus going to the ground, act common to the game. We need to think about all of that and be able to quickly verbalize that back. But that's what the back judge could bring. Good question, Keith. The back judge could just basically bring information like that.
Okay, here's a really good question.
Stump the thumb.
On the blind side block, it's going to be an ABA scenario. A fumbles, right? So same play, but blind side block during, basically during the pass or prior to the pass being released, same thing. A fumbles, B recovers and advances, is hit and fumbles with A recovering behind the spot of the completed pass. Behind meaning behind in terms of what direction A is going. Now what do we do?
We phone a friend.
Yeah.
So that one is interesting, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure. And after we get off this call, I'm gonna go read the rule my damn self.
Well, it's previous spot because of what's on the
That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There was clearly a change of possession during the down. So if A wants to maintain that tack on advantage or whatever you want to call it, then they can't lose the ball basically and have B take possession. So once there's a change of possession in these scenarios, the enforcement spot becomes the previous spot.
Right. There is no more related run, so to speak.
Okay.
Tito is asking, as a deep wing on this play, do I still look to my line of scrimmage to see if he has out of bounds on this play? If you are unsure, absolutely. But if you're sure that foot is in bounds, your eyes are just as good as his.
Okay, here's a good one. With so many officials coming, and I know we're getting into mechanics now, but why not? I mean, we're in a pandemic. Yeah. When so many officials come to help the official on the pylon on play number 5, are too many officials looking in the wrong spot? That's a great question.
I would say that from a mechanical standpoint, and it's not everybody, but in general, everyone in that area is going to the ball on a pass play. So the back judge would be looking over there because it's a pass play. The line of scrimmage would be looking over there because it's a pass play and his sideline is threatened. And the deep wing, of course, is going to be looking there because he has the shit all in his lap and he has to figure all this crap out. So the line of scrimmage is appropriately looking in that area because it's a pass play and his sideline is threatened. The back judge is appropriately looking in that area because it is a pass play and he's going to the ball on a pass play. But that is a good question to ask.
Okay, some folks lost audio, so they need to reconnect. Apologize for that, but I'm not sure what to do about it.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't remember if we covered this. This is a great question, and it can speak to the difference between replay or not, and maybe it doesn't matter. Did you talk about with replay, if you are unsure, would you go with touchdown and let replay look at it? Did we talk about that question?
We did not. We did not.
Go ahead.
And this is something, whoever asked this question, I would ask it to 10 other officials as well. And you might get different opinions. And then you just determine for yourself what approach you like the best. I'm going to answer it the way I answer it. I officiate every play as if there's no such thing as instant replay. I do not like working a play saying, well, if I get it wrong, replay can fix it. I want to be the best, and I want to have judgment, and I want to display judgment that proves I'm the best on literally every play that I work. And if the instant replay monitor is broken for some unknown reason, if the connection between the field and the instant replay is broken for whatever reason, and then we just decide that we're going to lean on instant replay, and instant replay is all of a sudden not able to help us, then where do we stand? So it's always my preference to do everything in my power to get every single play correct, regardless of if I'm working a game with instant replay or if I'm working an 8th grade game on Thursday at the local playground and there's no instant replay cameras. I would like to work every play the same way. That's my personal preference. But whoever asked that question, I would ask a bunch of other officials, and someone else may have a better perspective on that than I do, or a different perspective.
Well, I think your answer is correct. And I think a lot of times what we talk about is, certainly if we see the action and we're confident in what we see, we just make the call. It doesn't matter replay or not. But we do certainly have philosophies, and those are published, in the mechanics book and everything that guides us when we have doubt. Yes. And a lot of times those philosophies in replay games guide us to, keeping the play alive or letting it play out, or however you want to say that. That doesn't mean folks with replay are officiating to replay. It just means that maybe they had doubt, and so they're going to follow the philosophy that guides us, as such. But if there's no doubt, you just make the call. So like on that play, that deep wing signal touchdown strong, that means in his mind, he did not have doubt that the player reached the ball across the goal line, extended, and completed the process of the catch. Now it's reviewable, obviously. So it doesn't.
And it's a sign. But yeah, so Brandon, I guess from my perspective, the way I was answering that is I get a little sensitive because sometimes we as officials take the easy or the lazy way out and just say, well, I got replay, so, I'll let them fix it. And I really, really, really don't like when we do that. It's always my preference to do everything in my power to work the play and to work the play as if instant replay does not exist. So that's the reason why I answered the way I did. I have a little bit of a sensitivity issue, as we already found out, when it comes to that topic.
Let's see. How about maybe 2 more questions? I think we're almost up.
Yeah, because I'm going to have to file for overtime shortly, Brandon. I might have to get paid a little bit more money here.
You're already getting 99% of revenue. So, okay, play 5. Who talks first in that conversation?
Oh, great question. So play 5. Oh, I thought we were talking about play 1. Play 5. Who talks first?
Still a great question.
When we have a situation like that, when someone is coming to offer help, I don't know if the question is asking, should the deep wing talk first, or are we asking if the calling official is talking first, or are we asking if the helping officials are talking first? I'm not quite sure if that's the question.
That's the question. Who should talk first? We're gonna assemble in a conference right there. So who should talk first? Yeah.
Well, if I'm coming to bring information, then I'm going to bring information. Meaning, I'm not going to ask, "What do you have?" I know what you have because you got your hand stretched up in the air. And if we go to our officiating signals, hand stretched up in the air means touchdown. So I know what you got. I'm going to come and bring information. So I'm not going to ask you what you got. I'm going to say, the ball is on the ground. And I'm going to bring factual information. I'm going to try not to ask a question that may be a confusing or leading question. I'm just going to bring factual information. The ball is on the ground. Did you notice the ball on the ground? That's factual. It's not something that would maybe cause a little bit more confusion. Like certainly when over there and ask, did you understand the process of the catch? All that kind of stuff. Don't do all that kind of stuff. Just give factual information and let that official who's really swimming at that point, because that's a tough call. Let him process the factual information that you bring.
And I hope that it looks to me like that's basically what the nature of that conversation was. Back judge come over and says, whoa, the ball's on the ground. And hopefully the side judge or whoever, maybe it's the field judge, in that moment, try to stay calm and just say, thank you. I understand the ball's on the ground, but I had him reaching across the goal line extended, so I'm going with touchdown. And that's really all you need to do. And it's not personal at that point. We're just trying to work together to get the call right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's clarify. This will be the last discussion. Let's clarify, just because I think there are quite a few questions, and I know we covered it, but let's just reiterate. Play 4. If the play is a 4th down play, would the ball be awarded to Team B after the hold enforcement, then the targeting enforcement?
Okay, good. Good question. So in play 4, and the question is, we're assuming that the line to gain was not reached, right, Brandon?
Well, yeah, because that's the only reason that would matter, right? So
okay, yeah. I just want to make sure I'm answering the question properly.
4th down play, and the line of scrimmage guys, I don't know how they do it so accurately, but they mark the quarterback, short of the line to gain.
Right. So basically what Team B does is they have an option. Remember, we have to enforce the fouls in order of occurrence. And first of all, we have to deal with the live ball foul before we even get to the dead ball foul. So Team B, in that scenario, would choose to decline the holding penalty and take the results of the play. And the results of the play is Team A was short of the line to gain, which means we now have a first down for Team B. Then after we do that, then we need to go and deal with the dead ball foul, which was the targeting play foul. And we're going to back Team B up. I think they were inside the 30, so we would go half the distance to the goal line. We would have a first down for Team B after that situation, and we would disqualify that player. But yes, so Team A's holding foul would be declined by Team B. And the interesting thing, let me throw something else on top of that. If we mark the quarterback beyond the line to gain, this is on a 4th down situation, that is a reviewable play because our line to gain was involved. So instant replay could then get involved and potentially correct that spot to make it 4th down, or actually a change of possession for Team B.
Yeah, and if we mark him short, there's a great comment here. Don't even give Team B the option.
Correct. Absolutely.
All right. I know I said last one, but this is too good to pass up. On play 5, that was a quick signal. Is it best practice to, all capital letters, sell the call or kill the clock and process and gather?
I personally will not kill the clock in that situation unless I'm automatically saying it's not a touchdown. If in my head I'm saying it's not a touchdown, I know that, but I don't know if I'm going to mark it short or if I'm going to mark it incomplete pass. But if I'm going to say this is a touchdown, I would not personally kill the clock, because then what ends up happening is we don't look confident in what we are doing. And that's the tough thing about working that play. We got to make a decision really quickly.
Yeah, so it is best practice to sell that call. The way I felt like the deep wing worked it well, and then back judge. There's a question about back judge should go first in the conversation because it's his key.
No.
Go ahead. Yeah,
no,
right.
No. At that point in time, we no longer have keys. Remember, keys are really just initial, and this is what I think we need to really start practicing and harping on when we use the word key. Throw the word initial in front of it. We always have to do that, because once the play develops, we start working areas of responsibility instead of keys. We no longer are working keys when a play develops at that point like that. So although that may have been the back judge's initial key, at that point in time, that's an area of responsibility that we're working, and we're not working keys anymore at that point.
All right. Well, I think we have a 2-hour limit. So before they kick us off, let's just close it down. Todd, great job. Way to lead, the whole country to help all of us get better in this just the weirdest time any of us will ever live through, right? Without sports, without anything else, we're all quarantined up. So thank you so much. Good job, man.
All right.
Thanks,
thank you,
everybody.
Brandon. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Certainly appreciate it.